Plotting money moves over cigar talk with some ladies at.
Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Najee from Cigar Talk. Man, I got a special guest today, man. Seated to my right, this the champ, man. This the champ. Big fight coming up. I got my man, Shakur Stevenson.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
What's going on, brother?
Ain't nothing. I'm just, getting ready for this fight, mentally, physically, just staying ready.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this is just the biggest fight you ever had, right? Like, This is the biggest one. Like, when you say you preparing mentally, physically, like, what does that look like? What does that mean?
I mean, right now, I'm just like, mainly is mentally, because I feel like this an undefeated fighter. Mm-hmm. This a dude that really, like, he want to win just as bad as I want to win. So I got to up the level. I got to train harder than I usually train. I got to think smarter than I usually think. And I got to take it to a whole new level.
Yeah. I mean, what's the difference? Is there a difference, I guess, just how you train normally versus this one? Because this is such a big moment. Is it like, damn, I got to do extra shit, I got to do shit a little different, or you approach it kind of the same way?
I mean, my team probably going to have me try to, like, approach it the same way. But I'm kind of crazy, like, so, like, my last training camps, we was doing, like, 8-mile runs. I might end up doing, like, a 10-mile run this time. Like, something crazy just because, just because the level.
I mean, when you enter into a fight like this, like, how do you, because I know just from my job and the shit I do, right, like, I do interviews, I work at Sony, so, like, when it's big moments, sometimes it be pressure that come with it, right? Like, you're thinking about it, how do you handle, the type of pressure that kind of comes with the moment?
I got to be real with you. I feel like God put me in this position for a reason, so I can't get in this position and fold. Like, I feel like I got a lot of people depending on me. My mother got 9 kids altogether. I'm the oldest. I just had my daughter. I got so many people, like, depending on me. I just, that pressure don't really bother me. Like, I tell myself, I'm here for a reason. God got my back. Just do what you've been doing.
Right. So, for those who don't know, we mentioned his name. Shakur has a fight on April 30th.
Yep, April 30th.
Oscar Valdez, undefeated fighter. Man, big moment.
Yeah.
When you watching him, like, watching his tape, watching the Burchell fight, like, watching it, is it stuff that you feel like you picking up on already? That's like, oh, I already see what I could do right there.
Yeah, I watched him already. I ain't been watching too much tape because I know how he fight. Like, I'm better than him. Like, I know I'm better than him. I'm the better fighter. I'm a lot sharper than him. Yeah. I feel like, he's tough, so we got to just prepare for the mental toughness of, he going to try to take me into them deep rounds, make me fight a lot more, and I'm a fighter, so I'm cool with it.
That's the thing. So you could bang too, right? Like, you showed that in the Jamel fight. You showed that in a couple other fights. You get inside and bang and fight when you need to. How do you feel like you don't succumb? Because I feel like if we look at boxing, the only time people or niggas could beat real boxers is you got to put that pressure on. So you already know what he going to come with. How do you feel like you avoid the pressure? Or, like, what do you do to, like, negate the pressure?
I mean, we're going to do a lot of different things. I can't really give out the game plan too much because I know he going to be watching, so I don't want him to try to pick up on the game plan. But just know if we got to fight, we going to fight. Mm-hmm. If we got to box, we going to box. We going to do whatever it takes to win. Like, I'm a winner, so all I try to do is make sure that I win at the end of the day.
I love that. Man, so before we get into everything else, I mean, there was the good fights this past weekend. Chris Colbert, man, bro, obviously, like, see, that's the crazy part, right? Because this is a fight. One is, I didn't know the dude that stepped in, right? Stepped in 2 weeks. I didn't know him, so we all thinking, like, this supposed to be easy work. That was one of the moments. It didn't go how he thought it was going to go. What you thought about the fight just overall?
I mean, I felt it was a good fight, but I think overall he just showed a lot of bitch. Like, I feel like he a pussy. Like, at the end of the day, like, if I'm down 10 rounds, like, you don't got no choice but to fight. Right. All you gotta do is action at this point. Like, and he did an interview after the man he said, I didn't want to get knocked out. Like, I feel like that's a bitch mentality because at the end of the day, you lost. Right. So how Wilder went out, I would rather go out that way because that nigga, he fought to the death. Like, he a warrior at the end of the day. He could go home to his family knowing that he put it all in and he did everything that he could. I feel like that man ain't go 100%. He was down 10 rounds and started running. So
right. Well, so that was the interesting part, right? Because, like, when I break down the fight, I'm looking at it. He started off fighting, right? He ain't boxed. So I was like, damn, I think he trying to prove a point, right? He came through, shelled up. He started off trying to fight, and then once he seen the power, it changed shit. Do you feel like because I think at a certain point he realized like, damn, I can't really hurt this guy.
Yeah.
Like, was that a smart decision? Like, you know what? Let me just take it, or you supposed to just go out? Fuck it, nigga. Like, let me go.
I mean, I don't think the way he came out was too smart. I think he should have came out boxing.
Yeah.
I think coming out banging with that dude was kind of, you know, that dude came to fight.
Sure.
At the end of the day, dude came to win.
Sure.
He wasn't playing with him, but I feel like once he was in that situation that he got in, when he's down 10 rounds, been dropped, I feel like you got 2 rounds left.
Yeah.
All you can do right now is go fight and try to get the knockout.
Right.
I think, like, me personally, that's what I would have done, like,
Right.
in that situation. Cause
It's
I ain't
crazy because, I mean, obviously, you know, he was questioning your dog, right? Nigga say, hey, no, if you got the dog in you.
Crazy.
And this shit is like, you don't really know if you got the dog until it's time for the dog to really show up. You know
I disagree with that. I feel like when you in the gym and you fighting and you sparring and doing all that, like, you know if you a dog or not. Like, I mean, he in the gym, he knew.
So you think he was capping? Because he said he got it.
I think he was capping. I know for a fact he was capping. I knew him for his whole life. Like, dude, he was doing this at 15 years old and go in the ring and then get beat up and it'd be the same thing. So that's him. That's who he is.
Do you feel like, I mean, I was looking forward to that fight, obviously. Like, y'all was talking back and forth. It was looking good. Is that something that's even still on the radar now that he took the L, or is it just like, nah, that ship sailed?
I mean, he got to earn his way back into a fight with me. I'm a world champion. I'm about to fight for another world title. Yeah. He never fought for a world title before. He never been in a big fight before, so I feel like he got to earn his way like back in that position. But he can't just talk his way in that position.
I feel that. So what you think about the? I forget his name, Rivera. I think it might have been the dude he fought. What you think about him? Is that something?
I'll fight him.
You fight him?
I'll fight him. I mean, I knew him for a long time.
People you knew him? The other dude?
I knew Olympics? Him. Yeah, he used to be at my weight class in the Olympics, but not in the Olympics. I don't think he qualified. Like, he was in my weight class for a bunch of tournaments, but I will always win, and he'll lose.
You fought him in the amateurs?
No, he'll lose before he get to me.
Oh.
So basically, I was the winner of the tournament. He just, you know.
He was there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't feel like it wasn't nothing that you seen that made you feel like, you
know. Nah, he wasn't.
Nah.
It's levels.
It's definitely levels.
It's levels.
It's definitely levels.
Yeah.
Gary Antoine Russell, post star. What you thought about that one?
I thought he a beast. I been think he was. I been thought that about him. Like, people don't know. Out of everybody out of spar, I sparred him a lot of rounds.
Yeah,
like,
he big. He a big
but
dude,
me and him done like, we done had some like gym wars. Like, that's a tough dude. Like, that's one person that I done went to gym, and he got my respect because I know like we gonna dog it out. Like, he know I got dog. Right. I know he a real dog. Right. Like, so it's like me and him like got mutual respect. Like, him in that position that Biot was in, he'd have been. He was a dog. He's a dog. He's
Right. I think it was interesting because he kind of reminded me of Sean Porter a little bit. Just the way his style, he getting in there, the way he uses jab. Do you feel like that he got enough to be at that world class level? Like, he's going to be one of them?
I think that it's going to be hard for anybody to beat him. Like, you're going to have a real dog, and you're going to have to go to deep waters. Like, you got to be willing to go through some shit to beat him. Really. So I know he's ready for the elite level. He's ready for the world title level, and he was my teammate in the Olympics, so I got a lot of love for him.
Nah, that's what's up, man. I mean, we got a lot to get into today, but I just want to take it back to the beginning, because, like, I met you some years back, you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that, too, but
for sure.
When you, just Newark, man, Newark, New Jersey, that's on your back, that's on your, tell me about that, like, just growing up in the city, growing up in Newark, what was that like for you?
I'm from the trenches, so, like, it was hard. My mother got 9 kids. I was the oldest. We all lived in the same house, came up all together. We lived in the projects. It was hard. Like, it was something that was hard, but I mean, I feel like it made me into like who I am today. Like, it turned me into this boxer that I am. Like, everything happened for a reason. So I feel like God dealt me a bad hand, but we turned it into something good. Like, I'm living good now. Like, I'm in a good position. So I wear Newark on my back. I appreciate Newark. They done gave me the key to the city. Right. They done did everything for me.
You got the actual key?
I got the actual key to the city. Fire. So, it's a lot of love. Like, Newark support me crazy, so.
Right. I mean, what's that like, just having to be, I'm the oldest, but it's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
You the oldest of 9. It's like it's the whole football team in that bitch.
For
like,
sure. And it's 7 boys and 2 girls, so it's like.
Damn, so you had to spank your little brothers back and they put it on them?
So we basically had to fight all the time, like, and them little niggas still bad to this day, so.
Right.
We was just getting it rocking yesterday, like, those niggas is crazy.
Right. So Newark. You going to school in Newark? You was in school in Newark?
Yeah, I went to a bunch of I went to there. Bunch of high schools in
Wow, you was
Newark.
some bad shit like
Yeah, I was tweaking back in the day, but
yeah.
I went to I went to Central, Barringer, American History. Went to damn near every public school, Newton Street, Quitman, fucking what was that? I went to damn near every school, 18th Ave.
Right.
Went to every school in North. Like I'm a real North kid. Like.
So, at what point did you feel like you took the interest in boxing for real? Like, when in your life did that happen?
I mean, I always been in boxing because my grandfather got me started when I was 5.
Right.
But I feel like I started taking it serious when I like 14 when I went overseas. And I went overseas and I beat like the number one people in other countries. Then I knew like I got something. Like I'm really like I'm like that. So
when your grandfather took you to boxing at that age, was it like he's just a fan of the sport and wanted to like put that on you, or was it like what you feel like was the reason that he kind of got you in it like that?
He was a coach, so he already was like coaching other fighters, and he'd go to the gym every day. But I used to like be at his house all the time, so I used to see him leave. So whenever I see him leave, I'm like, where he going? And I found out he was going to the gym, and I ended up asking him like I wanted to go to the gym, so he ended up taking me to the gym, and it just clicked. We clicked. Everything was what it was supposed to be. He got me ready for what I am now.
It's interesting because it's like this, like Floyd always said, he'd be like, some fighters is talented and other fighters is God gifted, right?
Yeah.
And I think with you got that like that thing, that it factor, that you know what I mean, like the way you gauge distance, the ring general, like you got that thing that a lot of people don't have.
100%.
Is that something that you feel like you was born with that, or was that something you kind of just acquired through being in the gym for so long?
I think I was born. You know what I was born with for sure. I know like that helped my game out a lot. I feel like I was born with reflexes. Like I feel like something that Floyd got that I got, like we got like quick reflexes. Like it's hard to land a punch on us because our reflexes is so fast. But I feel like I worked hard for a lot of things too. Like I was talented, but I actually like outworked a lot of people. Like I put a lot of work in through the years to get like where I'm at. So
when we talk about just the work and that portion, I mean, was it fun to you? Because it'd be like certain shit. Like my grandfather, he was a jazz musician, so he used to play in Harlem with like Charlie Parker, Ella Fitzgerald, all of them. So he had me playing the saxophone when I was younger, and like I liked it, but I ain't really like love that shit. Like,
I feel you on that.
How did you feel like you grew to like just love it though? You know what I mean?
I feel like it came like with time. Like I feel like the main thing that made me like love boxing when I played like football and basketball. And I went to the championship in football. Yeah. And then we lost in the championship. Right. But when we lost in the championship, we ain't lose because of me. So it was like out of my control. Like we lost because of my coaching and the other players. So I realized that boxing was like a sport where it's like it's on me. So I kind of like gained a lot of love for the fact that everything was in my control. And if I lose, it's because of me. I could blame myself for why I lost, and other than that, like that's what made me really like get to like want to keep doing boxing, and I love boxing. Like
you just rely on yourself.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah, that's what's up. I mean, your amateur career, like you was that nigga in the amateurs, right? Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Bunch of tournaments. What you remember? Like, what do you take from that? Like that part of your life, that journey that kind of sticks with you today.
I feel like with the amateurs, I feel like I was dominant. I've been dominant. Like people don't know, like I really been like that person. Like back in the amateurs, I used to win every tournament. But I feel like when I got to the Olympics and I lost, I feel like that was like the best thing that happened to me. Like I feel like now it's like I know what feeling I don't want to ever go through. Like people's talking about you crying and da-da-da. Like you go watch Floyd. Floyd was crying after he lost in the Olympics. And then he went on to be 50-something and like that's like how I look at my situation. I look at it like I'm going to turn into this because I don't ever want to feel that again. I don't want to ever lose. Like I'm not cool with losing. That's not with me.
I ain't gonna lie, that was because niggas gonna make fun of you because you was crying, whatever the case is. But that was one of the illest moments that I seen on camera. Like one is just the emotion was real, right? So you be just connecting with the emotion, like just people, right? Emotions. But then too, it was like that's one of those moments like when you one of the greatest, they gonna bring that clip back. And, you know what I'm
Everybody be saying that too, but I'm like, man,
moments, like
it's whatever with me. I don't care because at the end of the day, I know like That was more like passion, like my passion for the sport. Like it's people that get out the ring and they lose and they be like just regular, like walk off, like I'm like they cool with lose, they satisfied with losing. I'm not no person like that. I don't like losing. I'm competitive, so that was more so like my competitive nature. I put everything into being an Olympic gold medalist, and then you come up short. So you know everything just came out at that moment. I was a kid back then, but you know.
I think the other part, I think it was funny because the dude that was interviewing you, he said, you want a silver medal. Like when he said silver, that was when the shit just clicked. Like you started. But that's ill though because it was like people be satisfied with that. Like it's like I'm a silver medalist. That's an accomplishment. But you took that like an L. Like
facts, I did. I still got a problem with that. Like with that silver medal, I still like look at it like like it's cool, but it's like
you don't feel like
like I don't think I know where my silver medal at. Like right now I don't know where it's at because it's like man like they might hate me for saying this, but like being real with you, I ain't never look at it like I did what I wanted to do. Like I feel like it was just I came up short type shit. Like
do you feel like when you came up short, did you feel like because they say like Floyd got robbed, right? They feel like Roy Jones got robbed. Do you feel like you got robbed or you feel like it was legit? It just ain't go your way.
I thought it was a close fight. But I feel like I could have did more. So I ain't one of those people that sit there and like complain like, oh, you got robbed. I know I was better than what I performed at. So if I would have been A+ Shakur, I'd have won. But I wasn't A+ Shakur. I was B- Shakur, and I ended up losing on a split decision. And it is what it is. I ain't tripping.
Yeah, and the image is a little different anyway. Just
facts.
The fight game.
Facts.
But man, like so I met you around that time a little bit before the Olympics, actually, maybe like a year before that or something like that. And it's crazy. So people don't know this story. I gotta tell the story. I don't even know if you know the full how it came. So I was at the time, I was an intern, like a fake kind of intern at Rock Nation.
Rock Nation, I remember.
And so OG Juan, that was my guy. So I met OG Juan. And I used to go to this nigga office every day. This when Rock Nation was, you know what I'm saying? Shit hot as crazy. I'm like, yo, nigga, I need a job, bro. Like, let me get, music and boxing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So he told me, he was like, yo, if you want to work here, you got to go find me a boxer that's ill. Find me the next one and sign him. Bring him here to sign, and I'll give you a job.
Facts.
So I was like, all right, bet. So I was going to all the amateur tournaments. And you was the guy. I was watching. I seen you. I went to the PA tournaments. I was going all around, moving around. And it was between you and Boots.
Yeah, me and Boots.
You and Boots was just killing everybody.
Facts.
And I remember we went to train. I watched you train in Virginia.
In Alexandria.
Yeah. We was in Alexandria
I remember.
training. And from there, I knew that it was something special. Did you know? Like, did you feel already at that moment, in that point in time, like, I'm special? Like, did you feel that?
Yeah, for sure. I knew who I was, what I was. I knew where I was going. Yeah. At that point, like how you just said, like with me and Boots, like me and Boots was like so competitive in them tournaments because it was like we used to battle for who the best fighter in the tournament. Like it was an award being given out in them tournaments, and some tournaments he'll get it, next tournament I get it, and we used to battle back and forth. Like, but I knew who I was. Like I knew I was gonna be where I'm at. Like I knew where I was going. I was putting in work at that time, and I was really looking forward to winning like an Olympic gold medal. So that was more so like my goals during that time. But now it's like I want to take over the world.
Right. I think it's interesting that like, cause you never know the connect between like the amateurs and if the style translates into the pros the same way. Yeah. Right. Like there's certain niggas that you just really good at amateurs. Like you just killing niggas at amateurs. When we get to the pros, it'd be a little different.
Facts.
Did you feel like the transition was a little difficult for you at all? Like just the amateur versus the pro game?
Yeah, I think it definitely was like difficult, but you gotta realize when you're like a special type of fighter, like when Floyd came out the Olympics or Roy Jones or Sugar Ray Leonard, like all them type of dudes, they special dudes. So they going to judge sooner or later. It's not gonna be they first 2-3 fights, they already got it down pat. Like in the pros, it take a minute to adjust to the little gloves, the no headgear, even though we was boxing with no headgear at the time, but them smaller gloves is like the main, they a different breed. Like you really feel every punch with them gloves. So it took a little minute, but I got it down pat.
The Olympics, I mean, like I said, I watched the whole Olympics. That was a moment, and like I said, at this point, I think that's when everybody really started hearing about you. Like once the Olympics came about, and Floyd flew out there to go see.
Facts.
Floyd was all
Facts.
on you that whole
Facts.
weekend. Just outside looking in, I guess everybody was surprised that you ain't signed with Floyd because it just felt like niggas is like, oh, he the next Floyd. Floyd, you know, he's courting you.
Yeah.
What you feel like? What was it that made you like, you know, not do a deal with Floyd?
See, look, like, you know, a lot of people look at that situation, they be like, yeah, you should have, like, went with Floyd. But, like, I'm a real nigga. I'm going to be real with fuck it. I'm going to just say what it is. Like, I'm a real nigga. So, like, it's just certain things that I tolerate, I don't tolerate. And it's like, you know, I got around certain people that I felt was, like, real niggas. And, you know, they kind of helped me out with my career. And, like, Floyd didn't want to be, like, involved in that. Like, he didn't want to accept like the real, you know, the real part that he wanted me to like go through it with, you know. I ain't gonna say he wanted me to go through blind, but he wanted me to like do it his way.
Right.
And I ain't want to do it his way. So it ended up being like I did it my way and I went with the team I felt was like a better team for me. And I feel like right now it's paid off.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, was that a hard decision though? Because you got to think like, this Floyd, like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas grow up, I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd, my favorite fighter, right? So it's like, you know, because I work in music, so I see that, like, you know, when it's an artist trying to sign you, it'd be a little different just because you have an emotional attachment to it. Was that a hard decision for you to, like, tell Floyd, like, nah, I'm good?
Yeah, it was, because at the end of the day, Floyd calling my phone, he on the phone, he like, yeah, you could drive the Bugatti. You could, like,
money talk.
Yeah, so it's like, he all in your head at the same time, but it's like, you still in your brain, like, I know what I'm worth, and I know, like, what my career means the most, so, like, it was something he had said, like, something about, he put me, like, on a flyer, and he put, like, all these fighters on the flyer, but, like, it was, like, certain, like, 3 good fighters up there, like, they had, like, a big portion of the poster, and he put me on the poster, but I'm down small, with, like, and I know, like, me personally, like, once I seen that, I'm like, hell no, like, I'm cool, like, I'm really, like, I know what I am, like, I know what I bring to the table, I'm gonna take over the sport. Don't put me on no flyer with, like, no small little, like, I'm a big star, like, put me with, I need to be right there next to Tank and whoever else that's leading your company, so, you know, like, I guess at that time he just ain't see the bigger picture, but I still talk to Floyd to this day, like, I got off the phone with him the other day. It's cool. Like Floyd, he want to help. Like before my last fight, I was asking him like what type of meals he eat before his fight, how many miles he run on fight week. So like he still like give me knowledge, and I appreciate Floyd. Like I love Floyd. He a good dude.
Yeah. Do you ever think about stuff like that? Because I mean, you can't really think about what ifs, but I mean like that point is an important point, right? Like we all starting here, and everybody goes and chooses their path, and just gotta see how it turns out. Like when you see like, you know, Tank started with Floyd and it got his name up quick because it was like, you know, you're around Floyd, whatever. At that point, when you seeing that, was that like, did it make you feel like, damn, was you ever second guessing your decisions at that point? Because it took, I don't say it took a while because I think you're building at a good pace. But I mean, just for the public to really know you outside the boxing community, for us to be like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got to also understand, like, it's depending on how, like, somebody look at you. So when I said like that poster thing, I don't know how he looking at me. If he looking at me like just a normal fighter, you know, certain normal fighters in his roster don't get that type of shine that Tank get. Like, so Tank come up in his gym all the time, and it's like they got a certain relationship. He looking at Tank like he just this, you know, like he got him on this pedestal, which he is. Like respect the Tank. I can't take nothing away from Tank, but I just feel like I ain't know how he was looking at me, so it made me kind of be like, I'm going to just sit back because of the fact that I don't know if he looking at me the same way that I look at myself.
That's a fact. Man, it takes a lot of balls to make that move, bro. I respect that. You signed with Top Rank, Bob Arum, obviously, right? Floyd went with that. You know, that's Floyd with. What was it about Bob in that situation at the time that made you feel comfortable to do that?
It was they got a great machine. Like, they got a great system. They made sure, you know, I was going to be fighting on ESPN. They made sure I was going to get a certain amount of fights a year. They put me in a position to become a world champion quickly, fast in boxing. So there was a bunch of stuff that played a part. Like, I knew they looked at me like I was who I was. Like, I like the way that they looked at me. And right now, you know, we just trying to get bigger and trying to evolve and develop even more.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's interesting with Bob and Top Rank because they always like it come with the stigma of, like they don't know how to promote black fighters or it'd be like Floyd has said shit like that. Obviously Terrence got the lawsuit and all shit like that. When you going through that and you seeing that, like, do you think like just as far as the promote, was that something that was a hindrance to you? You feel like?
Oh, most definitely. That was the first thing I went in their office and said. I sat there right in front of Bob and I literally told Bob like, man, I've been hearing you like, you racist, like, and I sat there and I told him that face to face, and he told me he wasn't. He explained to me like a lot of situations, and it was cool. Like I caught a cool vibe from the office, from Top Rank. I ain't really get that racist vibe at that time, so but I definitely went in there and like
laid it down,
let him know like I've been hearing about you racist. Like you gotta let me know like what's going on, but.
Right. I mean, obviously, like we said, I ain't gonna get too much because it's a legal thing with Terrence. Do you feel like Terrence's legal issue with Bob kind of put you in position to get this fight? Because that's what I see people saying. Like because of that, it was like, damn, now we gotta do that. Do you feel like that, or was it just you think that was gonna happen either way?
Man, listen here. This is what I'm gonna say about that. I feel like I love Bud. I support Bud with whatever. That's my brother. Yeah. Like I love him to death. Like, but I will say, like, I heard about the Valdez fight before I heard about the Bud stuff. Yeah, about their legal situations, but I try to, stay out of that. But I definitely heard them. They called my phone talking about, we want you to fight Valdez, and that was before I heard anything about the legal situation. So, but I can't really speak on too much of it.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you and Terrence, man, Terrence Bud Crawford, y'all got this relationship, big bro, little bro. Terrence is, if not pound for pound, number one, number two,
Yeah, one and two with Canelo,
yeah. You know what I mean? That's got to be such a big fucking help just to soak up that game and be able to, you know what I mean? Like, tell me about that, just like, y'all relationship.
To be honest with you, Bud is like a real brother to me, like outside of boxing. Like, he's not just like a brother to me, like, when it come down to boxing. Like, it's somebody like, we talk to like about kids, like we talk to about a bunch of stuff outside of boxing. So Bud is like my brother, but just being able to like learn from him, like I done watch his situation, I done watch him in the ring, and I done actually like me and Bud sparred a bunch of rounds too. Like me and Bud sparred all the time.
47s and you sparred
cause you gotta realize skills pay the bills, so you can spar at like any weight when you like at a certain level. But I feel like just being in the ring with him, being outside on the ring, watching him, I always say, like, I feel like I learned more watching Bud than, like, being in the ring with him for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But that's my brother. Like, I love Bud. I just want to see Bud do great. I'm always behind Bud, and that's my brother.
Yeah. Now, I love that relationship, man. Very supportive, it feels like. Another person, obviously, you another great that's been in your corner, Andre Ward.
Andre Ward, fact.
SOG.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Like what like I said, you got these greats in your corner, just kind of giving you game. What's the difference? What would you say is the difference, kind of what you take from Bud versus what you take from Andre?
They two different people. See, like Bud, he like a you gotta realize Bud like a gangster. Like you feel me? Like Bud really be on bullshit. Like and Dre, he got like gangster to him too. I ain't saying like he not, but it's like two different styles, like when it comes to boxing, like just boxing specifically. Yeah. Bud is like a fighter. Like he want to fight. Like he's a real he like somebody you want to take to a bar and
Mean Street.
Yeah, like when you go to a bar and you want to fight with somebody, take Bud with you, man. Bud gonna beat up everybody. But Dre, he more like a technical. He's like a smart boxer. He's more like me. Like we more so like we thinkers. Like we try to outthink you, and we like technical. Like everything is done to a T and the right way. Bud is like a gladiator, like you feel me. So that's like the difference is I get something from both of them though, like so it's
that's a good balance.
Yeah, it's a good balance. Facts.
With Dre, obviously, like I know when it started off, he was on your team, right? Like I don't know if it was management, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I know at a certain point it was like, he's still supporting you. Obviously, I see y'all together, but I guess I don't know. Was the working capacity didn't seem like the same way.
Yeah.
What happened there, just like from a working standpoint, like that y'all stopped like working together in that type of way?
I mean, it's business at the end of the day, so certain things happen with business, but I got like a personal relationship with Dre, and we good like on a personal level, but at that point in time, I guess the business just ain't wasn't going right, but we good now. Like so, we might end up doing business after that. Like, cause it's all love between me and Dre. Dre real good dude at the end of the day. So
if we talking about skills, right? Skills pay the bills.
Facts.
If you had to compare Dre versus Bud from a skill standpoint, like, cause obviously different weights, whatever. But if we was talking about pound for pound, like them two, what does that look like in your head?
Yeah, I can't really answer that question.
Yeah.
I got love for both of those. So at the end of the day, you know, they both. I just say they two different type of fighters. I feel like skillfully, Dre is like a real skillful fighter. He hit, don't get hit.
Right.
He might have times where he has some laps, but Bud is somebody who's like a fighter. Like he can be skilled. Like Bud is a boxer for real when he wants to be.
Right.
But you
he
know,
don't mind getting hit.
No, he got a problem. Like he like to fight. Like he turned into a street fighter sometimes, and he really want to beat somebody else. So it's two different type of fighters. So it's hard to like
to say. Yeah. I mean, well, when you think of like, you know, Dre more specifically, but like when we look at his career, I would say the most questionable one was the Kovalev one. Was very close. I still thought he pulled. I was there. I feel like he edged it out, but super close. But when we talking about a fighter that goes undefeated for their career, that's a hard fucking thing to do, bro.
Not even just their career. They ain't lose a fight since like 12 years old. That man ain't lose since 12 years.
What do you think that is, though? Like, how do you, like, what is I mean, it got to be just, because there's a lot of people with skills. What do you think it is at that level that's just like you just know how to win like that?
I think you just competitive. I feel like Dre, another person, he competitive. Like, he got a competitive nature. He don't like to lose, and you know, I picked up on certain things with Dre. Like he not taking no for an answer. I don't care who it is. And if you watch that first Kovalev fight and actually go back and watch it, that's what people don't understand. Like I'm a boxing, like I love boxing, so I will go sit back and watch 12 rounds of Andre Ward versus Kovalev. And when I watched it again, like you see Dre slowly coming back in the fight and taking over the fight, and you could tell that's a competitive nature and somebody who really don't like to lose. So.
Right.
I think that's just competitiveness.
Yeah. That's definitely interesting with Dre. I mean, another part, just, you know, your business structure. We see Jay Prince there all the time. The man, Jay Prince.
Yeah.
How did y'all link up? Like that was random to me when I first seen it. Actually, I guess it's not really random because Jay Prince is around the fight game.
Yeah.
But I just didn't expect that. How y'all linked up?
I actually linked up with Jay when I probably was like 17. And I had came down to Houston, and when I came down here, he was like at this, it might have been a club, but he had like his own private area. So I'm going in there, but I know I'm going to see Jay. But I'm like, how I'm gonna get in? I ain't got no ID, no nothing. Like, so then I come through the door. I'm with my man Antonio Leonard, and they don't even check me. Like somebody come to the door and I'm like, yo, they ain't gonna check me. Like, so then he take me to the back. I meet Jay, and he in there, he playing pool with one hand. But I'm just sitting with one hand. I swear to God, he's on the pool stick playing with one hand.
I've never seen nobody do that.
So then I just sit down and I'm watching him, and I'm cool. And I'm just watching his vibe. But you could tell like he looked like somebody that got a lot of big money. He like a big boss. So it's like, I'm looking at him, just watching how he move, and I'm like, yo, this dude, like, I like the way this dude moves. So then, you know, after that, we end up talking, and, you know, I met him. Once I met him, you know, and we clicked, you know, it just went up from there. So, he a real dude. I respect Jay. I'm loyal to Jay. He loyal to me, and there's a lot of respect on both ends with us.
I mean, what you feel like you have been able to learn and pick up from him, right? Like, because, you know, like you said, Jay Prince, like, one is he got the stigma of being like this dude that you just don't want to fuck with, right? Like, he got that. But when you around him, he got a boss type of aura, like, about him. What kind of things do you pick up from Jay Prince that you can, you know, just apply to your own life?
I feel like one thing that he always, like, two things he always speak on is respect and loyalty. And like I watch the way he moved. Like all the people that he with is always the same people that was with him from the start. Like everybody that I see around them is people that been there with him. So if you watch other people that's like big and all that, they kind of got new faces around them or people around them that just telling them things that they like to hear. Right. And Jay is like he just seemed more like somebody that got a lot of real people around him. Like got a lot of loyal people, and he respect a lot of people too. So, I don't like when he get into stuff. I see like it's more so somebody else being like disrespectful because he come off respectful.
Right. I mean, you're right. Like, cause he always talk about respect. Like every interview, that's his thing. Like, respect. And like you said, I don't really see Jay Prince publicly except when people got problems. He feel like the problem solver, right?
Yeah.
I remember there was a video that went viral. It was young boy house got robbed.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was out here in Houston, and they took the keys and the umbrella, whatever.
Yeah.
And Jay Prince got the stuff back. You was in the video.
Yeah.
Young boy was mad at y'all when he seen that video. What do you think about stuff like that? Like when that type of shit kind of goes down.
I feel like with that situation, I feel like it was more to that situation. Like it's a lot of like behind the door things like people don't know about. So I feel like Jay was Jay ain't do nothing wrong. I feel like Jay just was being Jay, and people be bullies at a certain time, and Jay kind of like he's that person who checked the bullies. So dude just be tweaking out sometimes, and he got the doing some extra shit. Right. It is what it is. It's social media, I guess.
Do you because I always think it's interesting, like as a boxer, where like I fight for real, like I really do this. But then it's rap, like it's like shit be, you know how shit could get. This is rap shit. So it's like, do you ever feel a way like on some, like I might have to put some hands on niggas one day, or just
I don't be like too worried about that because at the end of the day, I'm a boxer, so these dudes they not trying to fight me.
Right.
9 times out of 10 they gonna want to shoot. At the end of the day, we can shoot it out however y'all want to do it. But I'm not finna like be going back and forth with you on social media. If I can't really touch you, you probably somewhere in Dubai or wherever you at. Like, you feel me? I can't do nothing with you, so what we even talking about? We ain't got nothing to talk about. I ain't got no beef with you, my boy. Like, I don't care, like, for it. Like, you good, you doing your thing. I respect what you doing. I ain't no hater, like, so at the end of the day, like.
You fuck with young boy music?
Yeah, for sure.
Who you like as an artist right now? Like, what type of shit you listening to?
Right now, I'm listening to Dirk heavy.
Yeah.
Baby heavy.
Yeah.
I still like Drake.
I like that last album. I ain't really like it.
I like it. I like it.
Drake too, though. I want to say that.
The thing is with Drake, like people don't understand. Like everybody like to hear like street shit, but like Drake more like he don't be on like no super street shit. So I kind of respect like he like a real dude. Like he tell y'all about himself. Yeah, you feel me? So I can't like sit here and say like I like his last album. I like his last albums. Like I feel like Drake on top of the world right now. Like he the biggest artist. So
you met him before?
Yeah, I met Drake a bunch of times.
You got the OV. I be seeing you with the OVO gear and shit. What's that relationship like? Talk about just you and Drake. Like
Drake show mad love. Like every time I see Drake, he one person that show a lot of love. He show love. Who else show love? Lil Durk show love. There's a lot of like people that really show love. I used to be talking to Gates a long time ago, but I guess now we don't like really talk like that. But Gates like somebody that was showing love too. So
I fuck with Gates.
Yeah, all them dudes like cool people. So I ain't got no problem with nobody.
Yeah. Kanye was at the
fight. Yeah.
That's a big Michael B. Jordan. It's like it's big names coming to these fights. When you see that, how does that make you feel? Like, is it added pressure, or you feel good? Like niggas is showing up to my shit. Or do you feel like a little extra pressure? Like
in that moment, I ain't feel no pressure because like it's already 1,000 people there. You got your family there. You already got pressure already. So it's like I ain't feel no pressure about when Kanye like he came to the locker room. I said what up, but it wasn't like no extra pressure on me because I feel like I put the work in the gym. Like I'm telling myself like. You put the work in the gym. This just another day in the office and stuff like that going on in my head. So it ain't no extra pressure, but it was definitely cool seeing like Yeezy. I ain't never seen him at no boxing fight before.
I never did either. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah. When you think about becoming a superstar in the sport, right? Like obviously there's the boxing part, right? You got to take care of that, the business in the ring.
Yeah.
But then out of the ring and the lifestyle part matters, right? Like we see shit like that. Like it was, Floyd was in the game 3 decades, and it wasn't until the last 10 years where people started really showing him like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's something that you struggle with or you think about just in terms of like, damn, like outside the ring, do I got to be on some like? Cause Tank a little more flashy than you, right? Tank be in the club. I be seeing niggas in the club, whatever.
Facts.
Is that stuff that you have to think about, like that part of the game?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like I'm gonna turn myself into a star one way or another. Like,
Absolutely.
so I see, you know, like people could be in them clubs and do like all that, but I feel like I got a personality. I could talk. Like I could get on camera. I could talk. Like I could sit there and have a full-on conversation with you or anybody because that's just my personality. I feel like people gonna gravitate more towards my personality. So I don't gotta like go outside or do nothing. You know, I'm gonna be exciting. When we had a press conferences, I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna be Shakur. I'm gonna keep being like who I am, man. Sooner or later, the world gonna pick up. Because they don't got no choice. Right. Like, they don't got no choice with fighters like Floyd and because we so good. Like, they going to pay to either see us lose or they going to pay to see us win.
Right.
So, I'm cool with, you know, I don't feel like I got to go out my way and do nothing extra. I could be flashy sometimes, but then sometimes I'm a chill person. So, I like to be with my family.
Yeah, I love that you don't got to do, you know, feel like you got to do the extras and just stay on the course. Obviously, you know, you and Tank, that's a super fight. Whenever
Facts.
You know, whenever that happens, whenever, you know, obviously it gotta bubble to the moment where everybody gonna make top dollar. It's gonna be one of those big ass moments. You've obviously sparred Tank a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Have you played that fight out in your head?
Oh no, I play that fight in my head all the time. I ain't gonna lie. I said because I realize I feel like watching boxing right now. Like young boxers, and if you talk about like skills and all that, like I sit there, I watch Tank, and I watch myself. I be like, ooh, like that's the fight. Like that's gonna be the future. Like that's how I look at it. So I kind of play it in my head a lot, and I feel like it's a great fight. But I just feel like I don't take no for an answer. I'm not losing to nobody. Right. I'm coming there to do my thing, and I'm gonna put the work in every time. It's gonna be the same outcome.
Based on the sparring, I mean, did that give you, because I know we don't got to necessarily talk about sparring. I know, you know, the rule, the unwritten rules.
Yeah, don't speak on sparring,
You know what I'm saying? But just based on what you experienced in sparring, did it give you more confidence to feel like you could beat him? Or was it just kind of like, you know, you just took it for what it was?
I mean, it was great work. I mean, you got to realize he's at that time he's getting ready for his world title fight. I don't even think he was fighting Pedraza.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, he was getting ready for his first world title fight. I wasn't even pro at the time. Like I didn't turn pro yet. So
different you.
Yeah, like but it still was like, you know, like it was a lot of respect on both ends. Like Tank knew I'm that guy. Yeah. And I know Tank, you know. So it was a lot of respect on both ends, but I told you I ain't gonna speak on the sparring. Yeah. But sooner or later, you know, when it come down to it, I'm definitely gonna be that guy.
Yeah. I love that. I think another person, obviously, we want to see Lomachenko. Yeah. Niggas need to see that. I ain't gonna lie. That's a big fight. He moved up. He moved up 135. When you think about that fight, like, you know, obviously you sparred him. I feel like you sparred everybody.
I sparred him too. Yeah, I sparred him too.
When you think about that fight, how you feel about that? Is that, I mean, obviously you're not gonna say you're gonna lose, right? You're gonna approach everything as you could win. But being that he's so technical, do you feel like you could stand in there with him in that type of way?
I feel like I'm more technical than him. Yeah. I feel like, me personally, I feel like I'm the more technical sound fighter. I feel like in that fight, he's going to have to be the come forward, throw a lot of punches type of fighter because I feel like I'm more so smarter, faster. I feel like physically I got a lot stronger. I feel like I wasn't as strong physically when I sparred him because I was younger back then. Like I was like 4 fights in my pro career. Yeah. I wasn't who I am now. Like I'm a big, solid 130 pounder, and when I go to 35, I'm gonna be a big, solid 35 pounder. So I think he a great fighter. I don't take nothing away from Lomachenko, but I think that's gonna be an amazing fight too.
Amazing. Is that something you think? I mean, obviously we can't look. I don't want to talk about it too much because you got to take care of business first. But is that something like you would be willing to do if you won this fight after that?
Yeah, I think that's in the near future. I feel like if he get all them belts at 135 and he want to give me an opportunity, I'm down with it. But I mean, we heard him talk about me before. He kind of like brushed it off and hit me with the, we not fighting Shakur. I want my rematch with T.O. and I want the belts and da-da-da-da. So, he brushed me off last time, but sooner or later he ain't going to have no choice.
Do you feel like the T.O. fight made you feel even more confident that you could beat him, like seeing T.O. beat him?
I mean...
Because obviously styles make fights, right?
Yeah, I'm about to say style makes fights, and I feel like with the T.O. fight, I feel like he was more so worried about T.O. power, and he gave up 6 rounds and tried to come back in the fight, and I feel like that was a very bad game plan. But with me, I just feel like I'm overall a better fighter.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sharper. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm technical sound. Like I'm a technical fighter. I'm a real smart fighter. And I think he know that, and it'll be a great fight, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, like, no rush because you got to take care of your 130 business. You know what I'm saying? But 35 is the
weight.
That's where it's everybody at right now. That's where it's hot.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the pressure to try to move up because it's everybody's there and that like they was calling them the 4 kings at one point, right? They was I think it was like Ryan, T.O., Tank, and I remember who was the last one. Oh, maybe Loma. But
yeah,
was you feeling pressure to try to like move up so you could get in that type of mix?
Nah, I don't think so because I feel like I think they kind of like, I ain't gonna say that they dying down, but they like like now it's looking like if you watch my fights and you watch they fights, it's like Shakur is like dominant. Like one thing like he's the next one. Like he dominate every fight and he do what he gonna do every single time out. So I feel like right now they kind of like dying down and I'm kind of like rising up. If we get there and that weight, it present itself, it'll be good. But I feel like right now I'm not in no rush to go, to 35 if I really don't got to. I feel like right now I could clear out the whole 130 and then be undisputed at 130, then go up to 35 and take over. So, I feel like I'm coming up.
Yeah, for sure. What you think about I want to see you and Ryan, big, because like I feel like, and this is my part, like you can handle the pressure part of it. I feel like you could do that. You know how to do that.
Yeah.
Not to say you can't do other things, but I want to see how you handle the speed part. You know what I mean? Because that's a fast motherfucker, right? Like he's very fast. He definitely has some holes in his game, right? We've seen Luke Campbell drop him. We see some holes, but dealing with that speed, and he's I think he's like taller than you, a little reach. That'll be an interesting fight. You ever think about that one?
I actually fought Ryan in the amateurs, and I feel like,
easy work?
Yeah. It's an easy fight, you feel me? And I feel like now, like, ain't nothing changed. Like, I got better. He obviously got a little bit better, but I feel like Ryan can't beat me, like, all due respect. Like, Ryan, there's levels.
Yeah.
I feel like Ryan ain't been in there with somebody at my level, but, he a great fighter. Got to respect him, and I ain't taking nothing away from him. I just feel like I'm on a whole different level.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've seen recently, he trains trainers that was making waves through the boxing community. He was saying, like, him and Canelo, I would say shots. It wasn't like shots, but, niggas
going back and forth.
It was going back and forth. Like, Canelo saying he not really that focused. He's saying, whatever he's saying. When you see stuff like that, just like the internal part and, like, coaches, I feel like you and Coach K, y'all been together since I was there. Coach K, Karoma been there. But when you see stuff like that, like just the internal teams kind of having that, like, how does that play out, like, just in your mind?
I mean, you just stay out of other people's business. Like, I see what's going on, but I can't really, like, say what's really going on because it's like Canelo say he wasn't focused. It looked like he wasn't in the gym for a long time, so Canelo might have a point.
Right.
But then he say the trainer wasn't coming to the gym, so he had to get rid of him. So, I mean, it's both sides. They got their own little debate. I kind of stay away from that. But in my situation, we good over here.
Do you ever feel like, and not to put nothing out there like that, but I mean, like, would it ever be hard for you to change trainers because y'all been together so long? Not that there's a need to, but I'm saying, like, if you ever came to a point where you got to make a decision like that?
I mean, I ain't gonna say it'd be too hard because you gotta realize I've been with my grandfather since I was 5. Like, so if it came down to like, and I love K, I respect K, I ain't got nothing like bad to say about K, but like with my grandfather, if it came down to my grandfather, that would be like something that's hard because he been training me since I was 5 years old till now, and that's my head coach. But like, I mean, with Coach K, everything good right now, so I can't say like, but I don't think it'd be as hard as like if my grandfather and me was to split up.
Right. Okay. Tell me what you get hyped to, like when you about to fight, like when you about to, you know what I mean? Like this one of the moments, like what you listening to? What's in your playlist?
Man, right now we bumping Dirk, man.
Oh, that Dirk.
Dirk talking about some yeah. I feel like Dirk been making some hype music. Like he'll have me in the locker room turned ready to fight. So right now we definitely bumping Dirk. Dirk, he's somebody else that be reaching out. He just hit me like yesterday. He put the 100 sign on my video I posted on my story. Me punching the bag. So definitely Dirk though. I like Dirk a lot.
Yeah, Dirk is on fire.
Yeah,
right
Dirk.
now.
Yeah.
When you think about like you gotta walk out, you must need somebody to walk you out type shit to the ring. Who is it? Dirk? Like who would you pick right now if you had to?
Right now, definitely Dirk.
Definitely.
But only thing with Dirk, like I fuck with Dirk, but he definitely walked out with Tank. So it's like I don't know if it's downplaying like if I do it, but I don't know. It might be cool too. So.
We gotta get a little baby. Baby walked out with him too,
he
though,
walked
right?
out with
Tank
done had everybody.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Fact.
Nah, that's what's up, man. I'm really excited about this, this big fight with Oscar Valdez. Lastly, just kind of, in thinking about it, he's had I don't know if it was actually a steroid, but whatever the case was, like it was against the rules of what you're supposed to be using. Does that ever play into your mind, like damn, I'm like, you nervous about that, like because you want it to be an even playing field, but just because of the past, it can make it a little suspect.
I mean, we got a great team. I feel like we enforce VADA on him, and we making sure that he's taking tests throughout this fight weeks, throughout the camp, throughout everything. So we definitely like enforcing it, but I think they got away with murder with that, because I feel like if it was me and I got caught with something, they would have fried me. But
he still fought though.
They let him fight. They still let him fight. So I can't. My grandfather told me like, worry about the things that you could control, and I don't got no control over that. So I can't sit there and worry about stuff that I can't control. So I try to worry about the stuff that I could control, and we going in there to beat him up. So. Yeah. Regardless, whatever he do, we gonna make sure that we fully prepare ourselves to win on April 30th.
I love that. Now, obviously, like you're not supposed to chase knockouts. As a fighter, you're supposed to let it come to you. Is this one of them moments that you trying to knock this guy out, or is it just like I'm gonna just see, take it as it comes? Nah,
we gonna go in there. We gonna do what we've been doing, but I'm definitely trying to outdo my last performance, and my last performance was a great performance. So we definitely going to try our best to outdo the performance that we just had. That's definitely the mindset going into this fight. So I'm not going to say that I'm going out there to look for the knockout, but definitely going out there to put hands on them.
Yeah. I might bet a 10 stack on that. Yeah. I need you to look out. I might bet a 10 piece on that. Now, lastly, man, you just had a daughter.
Facts.
Man, actually, we got the same birthday, December 6th, your daughter's birthday. Yep. How has being a father changed you, man?
Man, it's definitely a different feeling. Like, I feel like my daughter, like the way she look at me is crazy. Like, I never seen nobody look at me the way that.
Mean?
Like she just be looking at me like. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Yeah, like the way she look at me is like a different feeling. Like I done been around like a lot of other people, but like. I walk in the room, you could tell she only about to be 3 months. You could tell like she excited of me coming in the room, like her eyes get wide and she starts smiling. She got the little dimples. So like it's definitely a different feeling. Like it's a different type of love, but I'm definitely gonna provide for her. I'm definitely gonna teach her and guide her through life. And I love my daughter.
Nah, that's what's up. I mean, do you feel like a couple niggas I know with kids tell me like, it should just make you hustle harder. It just put the different type of battery in your back. Like you feel like you got that extra like.
Yeah, it get you in your bag. I feel like it get you in your bag. I feel like before she came, actually when she got here, I feel like I was in the gym every day, to the point where one of my coaches was telling me like, you gotta relax. Like we gotta fight. Come April 30th. You don't need to be overworking yourself, But I definitely got in my bag just because my daughter came and I seen her, and I know that I gotta do more for her. I gotta perform for her. I gotta provide for her. I gotta do all these things for her. So it kind of put me in my bag. But I'm glad I got good people around me that kind of tell me like, relax. You got a full training camp. Yeah.
How you feel like what you feel like this fight is gonna do? Like, just for you in terms of your elevation. Like, when you think like, all right, cool, I win this fight. Where does this take you to in your head?
I feel like it's gonna take me to a bigger star. Like I feel like sooner or later, like see how Canelo taking over boxing, just me fighting all these big names is gonna turn me into a star. Like I feel like a lot of people want to see big fights. Me versus Oscar Valdez is the biggest fight in boxing. Oscar Valdez is an undefeated fighter. I'm an undefeated fighter. He has a belt. I got a belt. Like this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I don't think nobody taking this challenge the way both of us is taking this challenge. So I feel like after I win this fight, it's gonna take me to a whole nother level of stardom, and then we're gonna try to see where it go from there and try to make it go more up and up and up.
Nah, definitely, man. Listen, I'm glad you pulled up. Very, very dope episode of Cigar Talk. We gotta have to do this again once once the level up get crazy. On both sides.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying?
with it.
We're gonna definitely have to do this again, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you.
I appreciate you pulling up. Dope episode of Cigar Talk. We out of here.